Hey, this is Skip from the WSGF. A lot of people have asked with the introduction of the 130 series stand, will there be a new Mini Mega? The Mega and the Mini Mega stands were some additional custom SKUs that I created based on the WSGF Ultimate. It was a dual base and dual pier stand that allowed you to do 3 much larger monitors than just the 27s that the original WSGF Ultimate would do. It was a good product, served its purpose. The one downside is that it was fairly expensive because it started with 2 WSGF stands, and then we had to have custom millwork done to create what I called the Mega Bar, which was the bar that had 2 pole clamps to secure to the 2 poles on the old model. With the 130 series, it appears that there is an inbuilt solution. The system here is modular by its design, and I've done some testing with the parts from one of these stands, and I believe that we can put together a full 130 series Mini Mega. You can do it at home on your own without any real risk of damaging the product, and all you would need to do is simply buy 2 of the stands and you can assemble it together yourself. So we're going to walk through that here in this video and then talk about what sizes of monitors you might be able to load in. So what you'll notice here is that at each of these joints there are these large pan head bolts here. So what I realized is if I were to unscrew these and take this end cap off, I could join 3 of these sections and slot them between 2 of the bases. And then I could simply take the outer section here, remove this last bit, and put the cap here, so you would have 1 wing section on one end, 1 wing section on the other, and then 3 wing sections in the middle. Now, I've done some calculations looking at 35-inch ultra wide, 38-inch ultra wide, 49-inch super wide, the double wide, like you can see a little bit of there, the Dell, 32-inch 4K, and even 43-inch 4K. So I've done some math, a little sticky here, but we're actually going to lay it out here with a tape measure and some blue painter's tape so you can kind of see how it would lay out here. So let me go through and do the mod, and then we'll talk about that layout here in just a moment. So I wanted to walk you through the process of doing this mod, showing you here in real time. It took me about 8 minutes in total to get everything set up, but I didn't want to make you sit through 8 minutes of video. We're here closing in on 2.5 minutes, and I've already got the middle triple segment completed that will go between the 2 piers. I've moved on to creating the single segments that will go on the left and right. We're halfway through the process, a little more. And again, this took me about 8 minutes total, even considering that I was explaining what I was doing as I was going along, talking to the camera, trying to give some insight on the process itself. Without all of that, I think you could easily do this at home in probably 4 or 5 minutes, making it one of the easier mods that we've ever had within the stand line. There it is completed, and now we're going to switch to an overhead view. And this is actually the video that I originally sent to Ergotech earlier this year when I got my hands on the first triple and realized that this mod might be a possibility. I think it took me 2 minutes to do. I think this is sped up 2 times. A closer look at the mod shows taking off the 1 end cap off of 1 wing and then taking off an entire segment off of the other wing, exposing the hinge. And there you can see reattaching them and then putting those same pan head bolts back in. And it is simply just as simple as that. Once you get it together, the hinges still work and you can get that curve and flex between the stand bases. So now that we've got the stand fully put together, I've gone through and made some markings with some blue painter's tape to simulate where the pivots would be for different monitor configurations. To look at the spacing of where 2 pivots would be, we simply need to look at the single width, physical width of one monitor. So if I have one monitor here, the width from left to right is the same distance as going from the center where the pivot is to the edge of that monitor, then the edge of the next monitor to its center. So this width shifted over by half becomes the distance for your pivots. So if our first pivot is here in the middle, what I have taped in here is for a 32-inch 4K, which looking at common models online, shows me a physical width of 28 inches. Right here, we've got 35-inch ultra wide, which is 33 inches, and then 38-inch ultra wide, which is 35 inches. 35-inch ultra wide is going to be your 3440 by 1440. Your 38-inch ultra wide is going to be your 3840 by 1600, sort of a dual 16 by 10. Now, if we look at dual 43-inch 4Ks, that puts your pivot right here on the edge. The center of it is actually butting up right against this end cap here, and part of your pivot would be overhanging. We know that as we go to rotate in, that's going to push the pivots out. So I'm not comfortable saying that 43-inch 4K would work. If you want to risk it, and you are okay with your monitors being completely in a flat configuration with no arc to them, you can try, but it would be at your own risk. Looking at a 49-inch super wide, so like the Dell I've got over here, the 49-inch, a double wide or super wide is essentially two 27-inch monitors together. The physical width on that is 48 inches. If we were to put another segment on here, we would have that pivot somewhere about here. The problem is the weight. So out here, once you're going through two of these joints, as on the standard 130 series, those pivots can only handle 20 pounds. The 49-inch super wide, double wide panels are in excess of 20 pounds, so you would be above on the weight limit. So where we're at on the physical size limit, the weight limit, and the spacing is going to be your 32-inch 4K, your 35-inch ultra wide, and your 38-inch ultra wide. Once you've got everything loaded, you can come in, start working to create an arc here with everything. Like so. You can bend in the outside there and the outside here, so you can get a pretty decent curve going. The width here is about 63 inches from tip to tip. If you take them flat out, it's 66, 67. So you're going to need just over 5 feet of desk space here with this configuration. Here on the curve, you're going to need 23, 24 inches of depth, and then on the flat, you'll need, I believe it's 18 inches is the standard depth there. When we curve, our monitors push out a little bit. We should still have enough room for all of these configurations. What I can't be certain of is that if you have curved panels, that the radiuses are all going to line up and it's going to be this smooth, perfect arc. There's too many models with too many different radiuses or radii with too many different bezel widths to know exactly how everything would line up. But if you'd like to attempt this, again, it's an easy DIY mod, simply with two of these kits. So I will put a link up in the store for a 130 series mini mega DIY. If you have any questions, go see us over in our new subreddit, r/widescreen gaming forum. That's replacing our old forums for discussion. And we hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.